Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh with FLOSSTUBE number 130 on Sunday the 19th of June 2022, coming to you from a who knows what's happening with the weather day here in Upper Hutt, New Zealand. I just am back. It's just going 2 o'clock. I've just been back from having a little catch up with my lovely neighbours and a coffee and a chat, and then as I walked back it was raining, and now it's fluffy clouds and blue sky, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, the weather report, it continues to be all over the show, and that's all I've got ready for the weather report. Yeah, it's been a busy week. It's always a busy week. In the office, out of the office, had book club last week, so Wednesday was a long day. Drove in early, got to work by 7:30, left work at 6 p.m, drove to Jardin Park, did a little bit of a shop at the supermarket there, and then went to book club, and that was good. And then on yesterday I spent much of the day with my friends Kirsty and Quinn on their property in Carriage, and they live kind of at the almost as far as you can go in that suburb till you run out of the North Island of New Zealand. Basically, they live on a bit of bush property up a track that you can't drive on, so you need a 4-wheel drive to get to their place, and they're building a house and living in a shed. And anyway, we had a nice catch up, which was really cool. We've had to postpone a number of times due to people getting COVID and family bereavements and family getting sick and all sorts of stuff going on. So I think we'd put off catching up about 6 times maybe. So I took bread and dessert, and they had all the bits and pieces for sandwiches, and we had a lovely catch up. So yesterday was pretty much spent out and about, and today it's 2 o'clock. I've got the second load of laundry on, and I feel like I've got 3 hours of daylight left, and then the weekend's over. So not the most productive weekend, but that's okay. And yeah, Wednesday night and Thursday night I didn't get any stitching done, but I did get quite a bit of stitching done because, work from home Monday, work from home Tuesday, got a good start on Friday, did a lot of stitching Friday night, and got a lot of stitching done last night. Should we get into the stitching? We should. Okay. So just a reminder for people who are newer, I've got a few newer subscribers. Thanks to you lovely people for putting shout outs on the Instagram for me. I'm over 600 now, which is really good. Still looking forward to getting to 1,000 so I get a little bit more control on my channel. Because I know that you guys get ads thrown at you, and I have no control over what those ads are, and of course I'd like to have some control over them, but I don't really know what control I get, but it doesn't matter. We'll get to 1,000 eventually, and then I'll be happy. So yeah, for those of you who haven't been here for long or haven't gone back and watched a year worth of videos or 2.5 years worth of videos, I'm on an endeavour this year to start 50 projects at 50. So I turned 50 on the 18th of January, and that was my first start for the 50 at 50, and I'm starting 1 project on average per week for 50 weeks. The last one will be finished, I think started on Christmas Eve-ish, the week of Christmas, and it will be a Christmassy kind of project. I don't typically stitch Christmas, but I'm okay to have a little bit of Christmas. So yeah, I had my 22nd start last week, and it was I don't have a picture here, I'm sorry, I've left it in my bag, the Pomegranate Sampler from Fox and Rabbit Designs, which I have kitted up myself on 40 count Apricot Dream linen from Country Stitch, and I'm using the Cottage garden threads that the model was stitched with Felix and Cloudy Day. So yeah, that was the 22nd start. I only got a little start on it because I did decide to focus on a couple of other projects to try and get some finishes, but I started at the bottom, and so the Apricot Dream is just that nice, you know, slightly apricot-y cream, and I got the bottom pomegranate and the Y and the X done, and yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. I wanted to get a couple of finishes because kind of aware that my whips are building up. I've got most of my bags have 2 projects in them now, and I don't want to run out of bags, and I don't want to buy too many more bags. So I picked up Silver Creek samplers from the Lighting the Way, which last time you saw this I had stitched the lighthouse and I got up to this row of letters. I needed to stitch the last couple of row of the letters and then the yellow beam and then the sprinkly sort of stars in the top half, and I finished it. So there it is, and it's so lovely. It's a sweet little design. I did put my initials, so I'd already dated the dates in the brick on the little lighthouse cottage, and I've got my initials just down here on this rock in kind of a swirly L and M that it's kind of hard to see, but I don't mind that you have to look for it, and from a distance you can't really see that it's there, but I know it's there, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I love it. So this is stitched on 36 count Halloween Smoke, but a custom dye from Country Stitch. She dyed it a little darker for me, and I think it came out perfect. And I'm using the called for, although I think I subbed the white. It's called for DMC. The lighthouse is in a week's dye works, but I think I swapped it. I can't remember. Anyway, really happy with it. I am passing this chart on, but I've promised it to Danny in Wales, and Danny, you sort of mentioned a while ago you would quite like to stitch it, so I put it aside for you. So I did check I've got your address, but yeah, this is going to Danny in Wales because she had asked a little while ago if she could borrow it, and I'm like, you can have it. So yeah, I'm going to pass it on to her. And because it's only a half-size chart, it won't cost me $27 to post it, so I'm really pleased with that. So yeah, when did I start? So that was start 12 of 50, and I started it on the 3rd of April when daylight saving ended here in New Zealand, and I finished it 12th of June. So I really only had only really took me 3 sessions. So when I picked it up the first time, I got all of the house and the greenery done. When I picked it up the second time, I got the lighthouse and that lettering done, and the third time I got the rest of it done. So sort of 3 good couple of days each time I stitched it, and it was done. And then I decided, Helen A had commented last week that she missed how my birds were doing, and I said, oh, did you mean Frederick? She said, oh yeah, she wanted to see the birds. So of course I had shown Frederick week before, I think, and I had got some of his outline done. Anyway, I decided to pick up Frederick, and I don't know where I put the card. I wrote on the card and I've put it somewhere safe, and I don't know where I put it down. I imagine I was carrying it in one hand, got distracted. It's probably in a cupboard somewhere, or I don't know, it'll turn up, but somewhere I've got his card. I know I started him in April. He was start number 13, so I started him the week after Lighting the Way, and so that would have been around the 10th of April, and I finished him last night. So I decided to finish him, and he's done, and he's really lovely. So he is stitched on, let me try and remember, 40 count Drifting Sands by Country Stitch. For those of you who are not in the know, I stitch a lot on Country Stitch fabric because that is our local dyer. Catherine does a fantastic job. It's a lovely range of linens, and I do belong to a club, so we get a slight discount by ordering something, getting something every month. Sometimes it's a mystery, but a lot of the time I just send her a list of things I want. So this is, yeah, that's Frederick done. And the other, I've stitched him with DMC, the called for DMC. The only variation I've done is on Frederick's chart, this border is left open. It's just the background fabric. But on Frederica, these the border is filled in. There's two different shades of cream. There's an outer one and an inner one. It's probably quite hard to see in this picture, but they are different. So I decided off the bat that I would fill in the border, and I just did it. So Frederick and Frederica, when I stitch her, they'll have a similar border, like the same kind of filled in look, finished look, I believe. Yeah, called for DMC, 40 count. I think it's 40 count, 36 count, 40 count. It's either 36 or 40 drifting sands. I just got to find the card. And he is done. So I hope you're happy, Helen. I did Frederick for you. So my pomegranates didn't get much stitching done because I finished 2 finishes. So yeah, that's start 12 and start 13 both finished. And I will eventually pass Frederick on, but I think I'll wait till I do Frederica, and then because I like to pass them on as a pair. But yeah, so this will just go back in the to be passed on at some stage, and I will put all the flosses away with Frederica for a future stitch. I don't know when I'll start her. Possibly not this year. I don't know that I'm going to stitch her yet, so it might be a little while. You have to hang around for a while if you want to be in the giveaway. And then I wasn't quite done stitching by the time I finished Frederick, so I thought, what else can I pick up? So I just picked up, so I've got a whip as well, so I've got start, 2 finishes and a whip. I picked up my Cat Lovers from Jardin Privé, which was start number 19 of 50, which I is stitching on 36 count cream and sugar from Fibre on a Whim, using a 3/4 conversion. That is, there are 8 flosses and I have swapped 6 of them. So there are the flosses if you care. Those are the colours that I've swapped. The ticks, the check marks are for the ones that are called for. So 3021 and 3790 are called for, and the others are the substitutions. So I've got the kind of corally colours, the greens, and then the blues. So I just picked that up and got a little bit done. So since you saw it last, I got this outline of this frame of this big motif done. That little kitty cat has been added, that little heart, and that little bird. Because I still had, you know, some of this floss left on the needle, so I did that heart and that bird, and then yeah, I've got that little kitty cat in. So yeah, that's so pretty. So that's a little bit of progress on that, just because I had another hour or so to fill in and wanted to stitch that. So that is all of my stitching. I did things a bit out of order this week, but that doesn't really matter. Some linen in, but they're all 4 things that are now partially or fully kitted. So I'm just going to show you some things, and then I'll show you what my next couple of starts are going to be. So I finally got was surprised because tracking wasn't being updated, but I got my hand dyed by Stephanie, Fabrics by Stephanie order that I did in February or March, I think, that arrived this week, which was very exciting. And the linen is for 3 different projects that I am not starting this year. They're all being tagged for 2023. Yes, I'm already starting to kit up 2023 because I can, and some of these require quite a lot of over-dyed threads or silks or beads or both. So first up, I got Crinkle Crinkle. Okay, first up is Honey Amber, 36 count Honey Amber, which is the called for linen. It's lovely. I've never stitched on her linen before, but it's got some lovely smudginess to it. Not just mottling, but you know, another colour kind of mottled in there. So that is for Esther's Waves by Northern Expression Needlework, and I picked up this chart from one of the, it's a It's not a PDF, it's a printed purchase chart, and it was on the freebie table at one of the retreats I went to last, either in 2020 or 2021, I can't remember. So thank you whoever put that on there. So I had this on my wish list. Now I stitched the twisted band sampler, the specialty stitches with the called for. I think I used the soie d'Alger, the Avera soie d'Alger to do that one. And this one I'm going to use the dinky dyes and the beads, and I've gone completely blank, the Delica beads. So I'm looking for, anyway, it's the called for fabric that the model was stitched on, 36 count honey amber. So that's going to be, it has a butt ton of beads. It has something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has close to 6,000, so maybe 5,500 beads. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 skeins of dinky dyes. So I don't have any of the accoutrement. I just need, but I'll start ordering some stuff. You used to be able to get a bead pack off of Etsy, but that hasn't been available for a long time. So I'm just going to have to buy too many beads and fine. So that is now got the fabric in that. So that goes into a different box now. Once I've got the fabric, or once I've got it partially kitted, it goes into a partially kitted box, and I have a spreadsheet that I track what I need to order for that. So yeah, that's one of the bits of fabric. And the other 2 bits of fabric are for my Rosewood Manor sunrise and sunset. And again, I want to do these all for the called for. You will recall that I'm slowly kitting these up with the called for, I think it's all weeks. So I'll have sunrise all kitted up in the next couple of months, and I'll then need to get some more for sunset. So I'll eventually start sunrise. So called for is, I think I've got this the right way around. They're both 32 count linens, again by Fabrics by Stephanie. So we've got Bridget, and these are very unusual for me because I tend not to go for these, but I just love these fabrics. They are stunning, and believe it or not, that's the called for. It looks nothing like that, but even when you look at the colours, they're way more vivid than what they look on the model. It's going to look absolutely insane, and there are, you know, embroidery stitches and things in it. So yeah, Bridget, I believe Bridget is for sunrise. Show you again. I'm not even sure which is the right way around. It's beautiful. So yeah, fat quarter is enough, and it's just luscious. And sunset is, again, that's what the model looks like. These are going to be so much fun. And this is Banshee, and it's just that bit darker and moodier, and it smells so good. Hand-dyed linen, over-dyed linen smells so much nicer than Zweigart out of a plastic bag, which doesn't smell that nice. So yeah, that's Banshee. Pretty cool, right? So they're very dark. They look very different to what the models were, and probably like when these models, like 2018 this model, so it's not that long ago, but I don't know, it's gonna be stunning. So I've got a lot more reds and things to come, so I've only got a 3 or 4 for that one. So that was my order from there. I also bought a couple of fat quarters, I bought a couple of fat halves of 32 counts Zweigart from Elizabeth at Stitch NZ. I like to try and spread my dollar around. And I bought just a fat half of 32 count antique white because I had a couple of projects that needed a little longer than a fat quarter. I haven't got it here. I've already hacked it all up for projects, which you'll see when I have them fully kitted and show them as fully kitted projects. And then I also got a colour called Fairy Dust, which is a couple of projects sort of called for cream, but I didn't really want cream. And Fairy Dust, based on the DMC colour, I decided to go with that. And it's slightly blushy, pale cream. I quite like it. So one of them's going to be from one of the starts that I've got coming up this week. And I'll show you that if I can find it. This is all going to be a little bit out of order, but you'll cope. Okay, so start number 23. I've got two. Okay, no. So here's Fairy Dust. So it's a lovely pale cream, and it's 32 count. So I've already cut this piece that I'm going to use for my Owl Forest embroidery Southern Land. So I've got Southern Land and Northern Land, and I recently kitted these up with flosses using Threadworks instead of trying to get the, I originally would have got the Owl Forest floss pack, but you know, Russia, it's just not going to happen with postage and stuff at the moment and sanctions and whatever. So I did my best to pick a similar conversion from Threadworks, and I didn't, this is called for cream. I didn't want it to be too cream because the cream from Zweigart's very cream. So I've gone with Fairy Dust, which I think is really lovely, going to be really lovely. And the flosses again are Threadworks, are going to look like this and they look like that. So I think that's going to do a pretty good conversion. So this is going to be started this week. I'm going to take this to the Stitchy Matariki Stitchmas gathering on Friday in Johnsonville, because Friday is an annual holiday for us, public holiday for Matariki, the Māori New Year, and I'm going to take this to start. I will be stitching on Ruskin's Penguins while I'm there because Judith and Anne will be there, and that's who I'm doing the stitch along with, but I might just do a little bit on Ruskin's Penguins and do the start. So that's going to be start number 24, yeah, and but I also have kitted up Northern Land, which is upside down, Northern Land, which is going to go into the box for 2023, and I'll start that when I finish Southern Land. And this is also a Threadworks conversion. I am going to stitch this on the called for 32 count flax, had that for a while. And the Threadworks conversion for this looks like this. So I've shown you some of these flosses over the last month or so. There's my conversion there, and that's the chart, yeah. So it's going to look pretty good. But yeah, that's going to go away. So I thought I'll do Southern Land for Matariki, since it's all about the Māori New Year, which is when the Seven Sisters and Pleiades are visible in the southern skies, blah, blah, blah. That'll be, and it's on 32 count, so that's a nice one to stitch when I'm away, because I can stitch on a light coloured 32 count without any light and stuff. So that's going to be start number 24 on Friday, and this is going to go in the box for a future date. So basically that Matariki start is essentially going to be bringing forward my start that would have been on Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to have 2 starts next week. I'm a bit over the show, but you'll be right. Oh, here it is. The other start that I'm going to do, I'm not starting something today. Today is Sunday, so I might get a little bit more done on Pomegranate Sampler, but I'm going to start something on Tuesday, on the 21st, for the meteorological first day of winter. So I'm doing a start on both first days of each season. So you've got the first of them of each of the every third month. So the 1st of June was the astrological first day of winter, and the 21st is the meteorological first day of winter. 21st or 22nd. I just picked the 21st for each quarter. And I'm going to start Nevermore from Leela's Studios on 36 count silver birch by Country Stitch and a partial conversion. So that's going to be started on Tuesday, I think, yeah. I'll just have a crappy printout PDF. So many of you will be familiar. Possibly you consider it a Halloween. It's not, it's Gothic because it's a Gothic sampler. And for me, Gothic and wintry stuff because, you know, winter. So silver birch, and I have a whole lot of flosses. Some of them are called for and some of them are conversions. A lot of the blacks and stuff are converted. Like I'm going to stitch the raven with a colour raven, which is slightly greeny tinged, but I wanted to do the raven in raven because that's what I wanted to do. Instead of Gentle Art cast iron skillet, I'm doing Gentle Art raven. So that's going to be my second winter start, and it's going to look different. I haven't seen anyone else stitch it on this sort of greeny grey colour, so I think it's going to look really different, and I'm looking forward to that. And of course all these autumny colours are right up my alley. So that's going to be start number 23. So I've shown you everything out of order. You all can cope, it'll be fine. Then I'm going to ask you all to make a choice. I'm going to vote for my 25th of 50 start, which will be the 2nd or 3rd of July, I think, Sunday the 3rd of July. So I'm going to give you a couple of weeks to vote for that. And the choices are going to be Scarlet House, A Perfect World, which is, I'm going to stitch on a 36 count neutral linen from Victoria Motto Sampler Shop, and all the called for D&C. So, knock your socks off. So that's one option. If you want to vote for that, perfect. The word will be perfect. Better write that down. The second option is going to be one I've had sitting here for ages, Modern Folk Embroidery Rule of Life, and this one I've got kitted up with the called for Leo Roxy floss and 40 count parchment by Country Stitch. So I've just done a couple of things on parchment, but that's okay, I like it. So the Rule of Life by Modern Folk Embroidery, and if you want to vote for this, the word will be life. And the third option to vote for will be Miss Bingley's Library from Plum Street, which is on, kitted up on 36 count neutral sampler fabric, also from Victorian Motto. Neutral? Yeah, that one's called neutral and that one's called natural. They are different. So natural and neutral. So yeah, that's a partial conversion as well. Just some of the ones where you don't need a lot of the floss I've substituted. So for Miss Bingley, you will write the word library. So we either have vote for library, life, and perfect. I might do a mid-project whip parade at that stage so that you know where I'm at with that. With those two finishes, I think I'm still at around, what have I got, 22 starts, and I think I have 9 whips from the 22, and I've got 2 or 3 other whips. So I'm still sitting at around 10, 12 whips, which is okay, given I've started 22 things this year. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up. There's a little bit to cut out, not too much. Put some stuff away, have some lunch. It's 2:30, I better have some lunch. Dinner's sorted because I got a HelloFresh box, just kind of like 40% off HelloFresh this for a couple of weeks. So I've got HelloFresh to do for dinner. I only ever get the boxes when I get a sale, or a discount. And it's going to be a bit of a busy week because we've got an all afternoon thing on Tuesday in town at Pipitia Marae. We've got a work matariki event. And Monday afternoon I've got a hygienist appointment, and there's something else on Wednesday or Thursday. So it's going to be, I've got physio on Tuesday morning. I've got a new starter. I've got a tester starting in theory on Tuesday, but because my project coordinator has had a bereavement, so I need to do her job as well as my own job. So I'm going to have, and I've got a new starter on Wednesday I need to kind of induct. So yeah, it's going to be a busy week. It'll be fine. But we've got Friday off, stitching on Friday, so Friday's going to be a really great day. Looking forward to seeing the local people and spending a few hours stitching and enjoying company. And yeah, I will see you all on Sunday. Take care, keep well, find joy in your stitching. And as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.